I'm calling all the book lovers and crafty journaling enthusiasts today. In this video we're gonna dive into the wonderful world of reading journals, the perfect blend of our love for journaling and our excitement for books. Whether you're a passionate reader or just starting your reading journey, a journal dedicated to your reading activity can be a game changer. And this video will give you many ideas to track your progress creatively, to remember why you loved a particular book, and of course to romanticize your passion. And I prepared new free printables for you, so let's cut to the chase and get this started. Hi everyone, this is Carlo and welcome back to my channel. Now, when it comes to reading journals, the possibilities are absolutely endless. But to get us started, I want to show you what I personally do when I journal about the books I read, which basically boils down to two main things. First up, I have a grid refill on my traveler's notebook, where I love to get creative with collage and dedicate entire spreads to the books that I want to remember. I absolutely love making collages inspired by the themes, characters, or even the overall vibe of the book. I use magazine cutouts and try to create a visual representation of my reading experience. Normally I dedicate 4 pages, so 2 spreads, to every book. And along with the collage, I like to copy extracts from the book itself. You can jot down quotes, paragraphs, or even just single sentences that really resonated with you, or made you think, or that you simply liked. It's a beautiful way to revisit those powerful words and moments, even months after you've read them. And the visuals you created will add to the experience. It's like watching a little movie that you made based on the book that you read. And because collage is a very intuitive technique, you will feel free to experiment as much as you like and really express yourself. I love to use a white gel pen to write on the illustrations as well. It gives a very nice contrast. My second system is more straightforward and practical, and it lives right in my planner. It's something that many of you already do. Dedicate a specific spread each year to the books I've read, creating miniature versions of the book covers and gluing them onto the spread. At the end of the year, you'll have a visual timeline of all the books you've read. You can also rate or comment each book in the space underneath. I prefer to leave it as it is, still very satisfying to review. You may wonder, how do you create the little book covers? How do you make sure that they are all the same size and that they fit the journal? How can you plan that in advance? Here's an easy tutorial for you using Canva. Go on canva.com or start your Canva app on your phone. Select Create a New Design, write A4 Landscape, and choose to create a document-sized A4, which is essentially an A5 notebook spread open. This means that what we want to fit in one page of your journal needs to fit in one half of this document. In the Elements menu, you will find some tables. Select the first one. This will import a grid into your document. Drag the corners to adjust the sizes of the cells, which will be your little book covers. So start imagining how they will look in terms of overall proportions. You can add and remove rows or columns on this table as you like. And when you're satisfied with the layout, start importing the images of the covers that you've previously downloaded from Google Images. Adjust the sizes according to the grid, and at the end, download the document as a PDF, ready to be printed. Of course, these guidelines refer to an A5 notebook, but if you have a different format, you can just adjust the percentage when you print the document. Cut and glue your little covers and watch your spread grow over time, more and more with every book you read. A lovely interactive variation of this kind of spread involves the creation of bookshelves, with books that open and close and have little quotes written inside. To prepare these books, you can follow the system that I just shown you on Canva, but leaving a blank tile of the table on the left side of each book cover. You cut them like this and fold them along the middle line. For the shelving unit, I've used this thin washi tape, and I've created 2 shelves. I read many books with LGBTQ+ stories in them, so I'll dedicate this spread to this particular topic. Now you can freely compose and style your shelves, gluing the little books on them, and of course writing your favorite quotes inside every cover. A nice idea is to alternate them with pictures of the spines of other books, to make little stacks, just like a real bookcase. Don't forget to add some objects, frames, small plants. Start small and you can always add to it along your reading journey. The next idea is based on the concept of having a happy, comforting place in the house where to read. You've probably come across some cozy pictures on Pinterest with big bookshelves, reading nooks, a nice calm atmosphere. We can incorporate that aesthetic into our reading journal to creatively keep track of the books we read. I printed a picture from Pinterest to use as a reference. You can also use a cutout from an interior design magazine or a furniture catalog. You do you, boo. I've cut a sheet of tracing paper, secured it on my image with masking tape, and with a soft pencil I traced the lines of the elements that I want to transfer to my journal. In this case, I was interested in the central window and the sofa underneath covered with pillows. So that's what I'm gonna trace. Now that we have the main lines on the tracing paper, let's grab our journal, turn around the tracing paper and define where we want to place the drawing on our spread. A bit of masking tape again to secure it, and we retrace the lines to transfer the design. Now with a pencil we can make the drawing more solid and also make some variations and add details. For example, I wanted the window to have an arch at the top, so I used the glass to create the new shape. I've added 6 shelves on both sides of the window that I'm gonna fill with books. I'm gonna repeatedly draw the shape of a book spine, essentially a narrow rectangle with rounded corners, alternating different orientations. I've applied simple coloring pencils on the walls and shelves, but for the pillows I've used the design on my tracing paper to transfer the shapes of magazine pages, and cut patterns to really style my sofa with a pop of color. Now that your spread is complete, every time you finish the book you can write the title on one of the book spines. You can color it, and little by little you can watch your happy reading place fill up with all your best reads. So far we talked about tracking our reading, but now it's time to delve into our thoughts on each book. You can dedicate specific pages on your reading journal to book reviews. I'm gonna show you a very simple layout that develops on a single page per book. On this page I made the heading with, of course, the title of the book and book cover, along with the author and year of release. The toolbox underneath is ideal to really write your impressions and reflections, while the space on the side will contain additional info about your reading experience. Let's create one of these pages together and go into detail. I start gluing the book cover on the top left corner, and I use Tombow pens to make a colorful title. Using a ruler, I trace the toolbox on the right, and the left side will contain a bracket and another small box. Inside the bracket, I'm gonna write information about my reading experience. When I started the book, when I finished it, the format, number of pages, and why I decided to buy it and read it. I've used these nice small stickers with stars to add my personal rating under the book cover. This was a very good one. You can write all your personal reflections about the book in the toolbox under the title, or simply copy the blurb of the book if your intention is just to be able to remember what the book is about in the future. I've used the small box at the bottom to make a list of topics of the book, in the form of hashtags, but you can get creative with it and use for many other info. Now, some of you might be thinking, this sounds amazing, but I'm not very confident in my drawing skills, in creating tables, tracing lines, setting up layouts. I totally get it, but guess what? I got you covered. As a starting point to create your own reading journal, I created some printable trackers and layouts that you can download in a PDF format for free from my BuyMeACoffee page. You'll find the link in the video description. They include a yearly overview, a monthly one, a genre tracker, and a book review layout. They're all simple and highly customizable to make them your own. Download them now for free. print them and start filling them with all your amazing reading adventures. And don't forget to check the other free resources for journaling on my Buy Me a Coffee page, where you can also support my channel if you fancy for the price of a coffee. 2 more super creative ideas are underway, and because reading is a real traveling experience of the imagination, why not creating some literary maps? Imagine dedicating a section on your journal to creating maps of the world where, as you read your books, you can pinpoint the locations, countries, and cities where those stories are set. You can really walk on the footsteps of your favorite characters. You can start simply printing a map of the internet. Or if you want to be more crafty, you can create your own one, watching the video that I made some time ago for your travel journal. I'm gonna link it above and in the video description. Here I made a spread with a map of the counties of England, where I wanted to gather some beautiful English classic books that I've read, and explore the locations where they are set. You can print your little book covers, set them into location or connect them with arrows. You can even write additional informations. I decided to complete the vintage look of this literary map, simply tapping a brown ink pad along the rims of the pages, to give them a burnt, aged look. Of course, your maps don't need to be necessarily vintage. Here I've dedicated a page to my home country, Italy, to retrace the locations of the books of one of my favorite writers, Andrea Siman. He often sets his stories in Italy. So yes, feel free to explore authors and themes, and transform your reading journal into an atlas of your reading adventures. Every book has its own universe of significant objects and recurring motifs that will stay with us even when the last page of the last chapter is over. For the last creative idea of this video, we're gonna make journal pages with little pockets of book memories, where to collect mementos and keepsakes for every book. We talked about Asiman, so I chose one of my favorite books, Call Me By Your Name, to put together an example page. I started writing the title with a blue pen, and I copied the first page of the book on my journal, like a wallpaper of words. It's time to grab my tracing paper again, because I'm gonna cut a rectangular shape to create my semi-transparent pocket. I trace the shape, cut it, find the right position on my page, and with a stripe of glue stick on 3 of the 4 sides, I can now glue it on the journal. Using Canva, I created a collection of significant objects from the book. The score of the music that Elio plays on the piano, the bronze statue that they fish from the sea. I even recreated the train tickets from the 80s. I know, right? Then of course there's a bicycle, a billowy shirt, and the peach. If you know, you know. Of course you can draw all the objects by hand and color them. I wanted to make it super easy, so I went for a digital collage to print and cut. Now we just have to fill our pocket with all these little book mementos, and I chose to use the bike to decorate the outside of the pocket. You can interpret the idea of the pocket of memories as you like, including not only the objects in the book, but also other elements that will remind you of where and when you read the book. Your reading journal will become not only a precious memory of all the books you've read, but it will also mirror your personal story, sparking memories as you flip through it. That's all for today. I think that with reading journals, we've only just started scratching the surface. So keep your eyes peeled for part 2 of this video in the near future. In the meantime, don't forget to download your free printables from my Buy Me a Coffee page and start your reading journal. And if you like this video, please like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos about art, journaling and being human. This was me, Carlo, and as always, until the next video, take care, be kind, and I'll see you soon.